Hello to my 4 beautiful daughters, Miller, Madison, and Quinn. I love you girls so much. I can't wait to see you. I want to talk about Santa Claus. Okay? Now, as you get older, all of us realize Santa Claus is a fictional character. Okay? Kind of like a fairy tale, like Dungeons and Dragons type stuff. Okay, so I don't know, so what's the difference? That's what I want to ask people. What's the difference between Santa Claus and Jesus? Have you ever seen either of these characters? Okay. Now there's a lot of homeless people, and there's a lot of people in mental hospitals, and most of them are part of the church, or they were part of the church. Okay, and it made them go insane. Okay. Now the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Okay. So that's basically what the church has been. And I was a Christian. I've been a Christian my entire life. Okay. Until I started questioning it. Okay. They don't want you questioning it at all. Okay. Now, if you look up the word prayer in Latin, it means to ask questions. Latin is the foundational language which connects most languages. Okay. Now, again, if you look up the word tithing, okay, when the church steals 10% of your money every month, okay, or every week, when you look up that word, it means a largesse. And that means to give the money back to the people. You disperse it back in the community. So there is no poor people. Okay. Now I got done with a church service at Hosanna Church in Lakeville a couple weeks ago. There's a big scandal going on there. It has to do with money laundering and racketeering. They've been putting a lot of their money into shell corporations, okay, that are involved with child trafficking and adrenochrome. Now, one of our fine judges, Judge David L. Knutson of the Dakota County First Judicial Court, he's a member of Hosanna Church. He's been a foundational member. Now, to be a member, like if you get to be a member, you get one of those fancy coins from the church. So we have judges that are involved with racketeering and money laundering that are part of the church. Now, why can people get away with this stuff? Why can people be lawless like that? Well, people from the church, they worship guys like Trump. Now, Trump just got found guilty, okay, for paying off somebody because he raped her. So that's, Joe Biden, what's the difference? If you look at the word Bidens in Latin, that means sheep. If you look up the word pastor in Latin, that means shepherd. Now, what's a shepherd do? Well, a shepherd herds sheep wherever they want to go. Wherever the shepherd wants the sheep to go, that's where the shepherd takes them. Okay, now I'm in St. Augustine, beautiful city, okay, historic St. Augustine. Now, they claim it to be the first settlement in America. Now, that's false. There's lots of settlements before St. Augustine. Why do you think they say St. Augustine is the first settlement? I'm going to post a picture of it. I took a picture of the sign that talks about it. It was one of the first mass slaughterings on this land by the church. Okay, they sent a bunch of church people to St. Augustine, where things were great before the church got here. Okay, people were happy. They were living in peace and harmony. Okay, and they don't like that. The church does not like that. So they slaughtered them. Now, if you go downtown St. Augustine, okay, there's a cathedral, and it is surrounded by torture chambers. Okay, because that's what they did to people to get them to believe. Okay, then that's what they did to people to scare them into the church. If you don't do it this way, we will torture you and slaughter you. Okay, so that's how the city of the Christian city of St. Augustine was founded. Okay, by a mass slaughter of innocent people. So I want people to understand that. So again, I was a Christian my entire life. Okay, and when I found that, even after my mom's death, okay, my mom's murder, I still was. I was reading the Bible every single day. I took it to work out with me, go to the gym with it, okay? And I started to question it. Then I started to question my mom's death, because a week before my mom died, she said, I feel like I'm being poisoned. Okay, my dad poisoned her. Now, he's a prominent member of the church, one of the 10 founding members of River Valley. He's got a secret little coin. Okay. He murdered my mom with rat poison. Okay. Because she ratted out all the Masons and Stones, the largest pedophile cult in history. And they're in the churches. Okay. Now, if you watch my earlier video, I was on the beach. They were doing water baptisms. Now, if you look up the story, you can just do a quick Google. Who is John the Baptist? Okay. He was the guy that got his head chopped off. Okay. He was black. Okay. And everybody thought he was the one. And one of the noble daughters of a princess, okay, of a noble family, they were at a party one night, and King Herod Antipas, okay, asked this girl, what is your one wish, and I will grant it? And she said, I want John the Baptist's head on a silver platter. Okay, now does anybody know if that story really happened? Or is it a metaphor for the church? Literally makes you stop using your brain. Okay, it makes you one-sided. Okay, because you put all your hope in a fictional character like Santa, basically Santa Claus. Okay, and you think, oh, everything's gonna be okay. Trust in Jesus. You're insane. I mean, you are crazy if you think that. I've tested it my entire life. My mom would have never been murdered with rat poison if there was a Jesus. Okay, there wouldn't be one homeless person. There wouldn't be one poor person if there was a Jesus. So I want people to understand that. Okay, and I'm not trying to attack your belief system. I'm telling my story of what I went through. Okay, praying my entire life. Okay, I was never great about giving 10% because I never had that much money. And when I did give money at the church, it was just like you felt bad, like make you feel bad for not giving your money. Now, what do pastors and what do the churches do with this money? Well, they put them in their own friends' corporations or shell corporations. Okay, that's why when you ride around town, wherever you're from, if you see a business that's like constantly been open, okay, but there's never that many people in there, okay, kind of like that show Breaking Bad. You know how they set up all those shell corporations? That's what basically every business, it's owned by a church member. So I want people to understand that. Okay, so when people say like, oh, just trust in Jesus or trust in God, everything will be okay. Everything's going to be okay. You're insane, number one, for believing that. Like, you are clinically insane. That's what they want you to do so they can keep stealing our money. Okay, now there's a scandal at many churches. If you just Google church scandal or church pedophilia, they're the one entity that's involved with like the most crime. And they're involved with the most pedophilia and child trafficking. That's our churches. And I didn't know this until I just started looking it up. Okay, the FBI arrests people almost every single day. Okay, and a lot of them are from the church. And then when they get in trouble, they blame they say, oh, God told me to do it, or Jesus told me to do it. I mean, you're in a cult and you're insane if you believe that. Okay, now there was just a shooting down here in Florida. Very sad story. I was talking to some lovely ladies at the hotel about it. Okay, this lady who lives in a smaller neighborhood. Okay, she got in a scuffle with her neighbor. The sheriff's department showed up. Okay, and she told the sheriff to go into her apartment. That's where the real or her trailer. That's where the real disturbance is. As soon as the sheriff deputy walked in there, The husband and two daughters shot this sheriff's deputy, 28-year-old. I believe his name is Brian Link. Now, two more sheriffs got injured because of it. They got shot. Now, what did this woman do? Now, she's part of the church. She said, God told me to do it. Okay? God told me to do it, to get rid of all the evil. Like, that's what the church does to you. Now, the church got my dad to poison my mom. I mean, it's that evil. It's that sinister. And I've been called crazy, insane, you name it. I mean, you're insane for believing in a Santa Claus. I want you to know that. You're insane for believing in something like a little Santa Claus. So I want people to understand that. And then ask yourself this logical question. Why would the church be the only entity in the world that doesn't have to pay taxes wherever they are? Because they own all the land, and they put this in their own constitution. They own all of us, the people. We're all slaves. We're modern day slaves. Now, if you look up job in the Bible, yes, job, it's spelled J-O-B, just our bitch, and you really read that story, that's why we're all slaves. That's why you have a job. Okay? Now, same thing with there's a lot of homeless people around St. Augustine and Volano Beach area. And the reason they are is because people think they're crazy because they started spewing all this church stuff. Devil and God. Okay? The only reason people like talk about that stuff is because they get you to believe in it, right? What if you started to believe in the people and not the church? What if you started to believe in each other? Okay, what if, for example, the church was the one who brought good and evil into the world? Before in the beginning, there was darkness. Okay, well, yeah, that's how it should be here. There's a bunch of natural light. That's why there are all these lights and light pollution. Okay? Because you're quite literally blinded by the light. Okay? Now, at the other end of this bridge, right here, at the other end of this bridge is a school for the deaf and blind. You know the reason why people are born deaf and blind is because when they're in their mommy's water, the reason why people are blind is because they were staring at that light bulb in the sky, that little baby. That's how a person becomes blind. Okay? You're blinded by the light. They literally wrote a song about it. So I want people to understand that. Again, kids, you tell them Santa Claus is fake when they get old enough. Why don't you tell them the same thing about Jesus? That's what I don't understand. You tell kids Santa Claus is fake when they get older. Why don't we tell the same thing to our kids? Okay? Now, when people do bad and evil things, they always blame it on God or Jesus or the devil. Okay? Like that shooting down here, the sheriff's deputy. Okay? The woman blamed it on God and the devil. So why should we allow that to happen anymore? Again, this city was founded historically because the church won the war, so they got to tell the story. And they will lie about anything as long as they keep winning. Like my dad, okay? Like Trump, like Biden. Those are called men of renown. They're in every single town. They will lie their face off just to win. Okay, one time when I actually confirmed that my mom was poisoned by my dad and murdered by my dad, okay, I was on a phone call with him, and he wanted me to hang up first. And I was like, no, you hang up. And he's like, no, you hang up. He literally sat on the phone for like 5 minutes, okay, and he wouldn't hang. Like, that's how big of pussies these men of renown are. Okay? And they'll never challenge you to a fair fight, or they'll never really say stuff to your face, because when you're on top, you don't really need, when you're lions or liars, when you're surrounded by them, they don't really need to, because they know all they have to do is just win, no matter what lie they tell. That's basically how the church has stayed in power so long. As long as they lie enough, okay, And as long as they win, okay, they don't care. They don't care about other people, obviously, or there wouldn't be any poor people. If anything about the church was good, there wouldn't be one poor person in the world. Now just go look at the Pope's throne, okay? The Pope's throne is about a $70 billion golden chair. Why would a Pope need that? Why would a Pope need a $70 billion gold chair? A throne to sit on? Okay? And now the more, when I started questioning the Bible, it was when I saw the scripture or the verse about the four walls that surround us. Okay? Everywhere we go, unless you're outside, there's four walls that surround you. Okay? So I want people to understand that. I'm sick of the church and all their dirty deeds, all their crimes. They're involved with racketeering, money laundering, tax evasion, child trafficking, pedophilia, adrenochrome. Okay, they get to start every company. So if a company becomes large, if a company becomes a large corporation, well, then the only way that happens is if the church okayed it. Okay, so if your business got shut down during the pandemic, well, I'm proud of you, okay, because you didn't get a pedophile loan, a PPE. You didn't get a PP. You didn't get a little PP loan. Or you don't do enough private events for all the private parts. Okay? So I'm sick of it. I'm not going to stop until people start to wake up. Again, you tell your kids Santa Claus is not real, but you won't tell them about Jesus? Have you ever seen Jesus? What are his GPS coordinates? Is he at the North Pole with Santa Claus? Why is he letting all this murder, war, and violence go on? Can anybody explain that? Now, shout out to my friends Mel Kennevan and Fitz Kennevan. They were my two best friends. They're crazy church people too, just like Fitz's mom. And I forgive them. They need to get some help. They were my best friends. Now, whenever Mel called me when Fitz was drunk, she needed me to take him under my wing and let him stay with me. And no matter how annoying and crazy it was, she even asked me to bring him to Hazeltine one time, and I did. I always said yes. I always helped them out. Okay? Now, as soon as I started calling out the Masons and Stones, oh boy, did our relationship change. Now, Mel's a brainwashed doctor. She's had 8 years of schooling. I forgive her. Okay? But again, I asked her to go I wanted to go have Thanksgiving with them last year. And they're my best friends. She'd always normally say yes. She said no. Okay, I asked Mel, I had no money on the following Christmas. I said, hey, can you order me a pizza? Because I didn't want to talk to my dad. She said, no, I don't have the money for that right now. She's a doctor. Okay, so that's the church. They're some of the most hateful, despiteful, jealous, destructive people on the planet. The true crazy people, church people. Okay? So I need you guys to go get some help. Please, go get help. You believe in a little Santa Claus dude. Okay? Now, if you go by the 10 Commandments, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not lie. Well, you all break those. Okay? What about thou shalt not kill? Why is there so much murder in the world and violence if the church was true at all? Okay? Or how about don't take the Lord's name in vain? That means give blood to other people for adrenochrome, or drain other people's blood like the Red Cross. Yeah, you're not supposed to do that. Okay? So the 10 Commandments are hey, this is how sinister we're going to be. We're going to break every single one of them. Okay? And we'll destroy anybody's life, okay, who wants to try to stop us. That's basically what the church is. They're the true mafia. They're the true criminals. Now, just ask yourself why they're the only people in the world that don't have to pay taxes. Well, that'll tell you right there. Criminals. So I'm sick of it. I'm not going to stop speaking up about it. I've gotten so many death threats. They call me crazy and insane. You know what? You're crazy and insane. You believe in a fictional character that literally an algorithm helped write. An algorithm helped connect all these languages, helped perfect the Bible. Okay? So you're insane. You're crazy to believe in all that. I want you to know that. You are insane, crazy people to believe in that stuff. A fictional book. Now, my Bible is pretty cool. In the back of it, I'll post a picture of it. I put it on my Facebook page if you scroll down far enough. It tells you the only facts about the Bible. Now, it's not all the stories. It's not any of the 66 books. It tells you how many letters there are. It tells you how many words there are. It tells you that it mentions father about 1,500 times and mother only 325 times. Now, to all the women that are in the church, I just want you to know, you're all beautiful, okay, and I love you, I forgive you, but you're the true creators, not a Lord God Jesus person. Women are the true creators. Now, the word galactic or lac, that's your boobies. That's the milk you produce to recreate life. Okay? So women are the true creators. Women are the Milky Way galaxy. They are the planetary health signals. Okay? Which the church has helped destroy. Okay? Are women. Women should not have periods. I want you to understand that, ladies. You should not have a period. It's due to all the ferrum, iron, and metals that we keep adding because of greed, stupidity, violence, war. Basically just pure insanity and stupidity from the church. That's the light warriors. They brought light here. Artificial light. Blinded by the light. We live in a black universe. Okay, that's why when you get out of the 7 miles up top, out of our atmosphere, okay, up an atom, you know what I mean? It's dark. It's dark. All the videos you see, they taunt you with it. Okay, any spaceship that gets out of our orbit, okay, or out of our atmosphere, it immediately becomes dark. So what's that tell you about where the sun's located? Or that little light bulb? What's that tell you using common sense? Okay, it's a dark universe. These light warriors, wherever the fuck they came from, they brought light here to blind you with it. Okay, you could walk around all day long without a sun, whatever you want to call it, night, and you won't be as tired. That's what makes us so tired. That's what makes you have to sleep for 8 hours a night, is because the sun drains us of our energy, drains us. Okay, so please understand that. It's not good for you. And then once it hits buildings, windows, it even amplifies. So when you sit inside a school, that's why it's the 4 walls that surround you. When you sit inside a school or a church, okay, or any building with windows, it makes you even more tired. How many of you work an office job? You sit down, okay, and you just start to get sleepy or tired or start yawning. That's because of the infrared rays, artificial light, that amplifies, okay, and makes you sleepy. And it can be reversed. We just have to stop believing in fictional characters like Santa Claus and Jesus. Okay? I want people to know that. And I love you. I love all you church people. But it's time to change. This stuff has been around for 2,000 years. It's destroyed the world. Okay? It's killed and murdered so many people, the church. It's the reason for every single war. Okay? And there's so many good people in the world that the church has to make up bad events. Okay? That's why they did 9/11. That's the church. Okay? You know how many people live in the Vatican City? 911. So they're responsible for all the evil stuff in the world, whatever you want to call it. I call it bad or wrong. It's black or white, wrong or right. I don't even like saying good or evil. I don't like the word evil. Because you know what they did with the word love? All these pedos. What's love backwards? Well, it's evil. Remember, everything's backwards. Love you, honey queens. Have a good night. Women, please wake up.